680's Richard Southern joins me now. I'm at Queen's Park. You're in the office, Richard. Let's talk about the coronavirus. Of course, the WHO has declared it a global health emergency, and that's having some unexpected repercussions on the markets.
Yeah, I mean, investors, as we've been talking about the past few days, Cynthia, have been a bit nervous about this, and it's rippled. There's been ripple effects across the financial markets, and one of the things it's done is it's caused investors to buy government bonds, and the knock-on effect to that, believe it or not, is lower mortgage prices on the way, Cynthia. That's because a lot of mortgages in Canada, it's fixed rate mortgages that are tied to the bond market. So investors have bought bonds, the yields have fallen, and the end result is fixed rate mortgages are getting a lot cheaper. The experts think they're going to drop about 15 basis points. That means the average uninsured mortgage will soon cost you about 2.69% instead of the current 2.84. We've already seen RBC move its rates lower. The other banks are expected to follow suit. So the variable rates don't change here. It's the fixed rates that are getting cheaper because of the coronavirus worry, believe it or not.
Interesting. It's interesting how it can have such various impacts on different things.
Yeah, you mentioned the World Health Organization warning today. That actually had stocks rising because they said, the WHO, trade and travel restrictions are not necessary right now. Investors actually like that point today.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn to the Hummer. It was once known as a gas guzzler, but now it's getting a big relaunch.
Yeah, GM confirmed today they're bringing the Hummer back, but this time as an all-electric vehicle. It's actually going to be a pickup truck design this time around. It's going to come out in September of 2021. That's kind of the only image we have of it right now. However, there's going to be a big Super Bowl commercial unveiling the new electric Hummer. It's going to have a massive battery, GM says, with the equivalent of 1,000 horsepower being created. It's going to be able to go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, Cynthia. It's going to be quick, and it's going to have 11,500 pounds of torque, making for good towing capacity. So called the Hummer EV. You know, the original Hummer, a big target, of course, of environmentalists because it used so much gas. So now it's just going to be electric powered.
And it's still sort of like a status car or vehicle, isn't it?
It's big. You know, it was, I guess, originally designed for the Army to use. So it's a big vehicle,
right?
All right.
Absolutely. Okay, should every cell phone have to use the same charger or be compatible with the same charger? And the European Union says yes, and not surprisingly, one of the biggest companies out there isn't too happy about it.
Absolutely.
I think it would be a great idea. It would make life easier for people.
Sure would. Especially if you're an Apple user and you're stuck not being able to use, an Android user's charger. But yes, the European Union, they say they want one phone charger to rule them all. The European Parliament today passing a resolution calling for technology companies to use just one type of charger across all devices, phones and tablets and companies and all this. Yes, not surprisingly, Apple has taken back to this. Apple previously had said that using just one charger would stifle innovation and create environmental waste. That's Apple's line on it. It is, though, Apple moving towards USB-C, so maybe one day Apple will conform, but right now it's kind of pushing back against the EU on this one.
Interesting. Okay, and before we go, you have another look at gas prices and where they're going.
A bit of good news. The price, well, actually, no, not good news tonight. Price going up 1 cent. However, the trend is calling for a decrease on Saturday. We're back just after 6:30, Cynthia. We're looking at slang terms Gen Zs and teens are using here in 2020. We're going to try and decipher some of them just after 6:30.
Okay, I need a lesson. Thanks, Richard.
Thanks, Jen.